the Government College of Art, right in the center of the city, Shantiniketan flowering within the green and blue neighborhood of the city, rich area of museums and galleries.
Wow.
Kolkata, yeah, so Kolkata was known for its Baroque neoclassical deco style of architecture, right? And its vibrant festivals of Durga Puja, its long-standing artistic traditions. It's a city that pulses with creativity.
Hi, friends. Welcome to the Aspire and Acquire podcast. I'm your host, Sandeep Suri. Join me for listening to some incredible stories about some of the best professionals from very diverse fields like combat flying, robotic surgery, dancing, tea farming, journalism, deep sea diving, and so on. These accomplished professionals are not just outstanding in their jobs, but also have unique stories to share with us. We have tried to make the show truly global by having these guests from different parts of the world. And we are thrilled to launch season 2 of Aspire and Acquire. Just like in season 1, we have lined up some incredibly accomplished guests, but this time with even more diversity. I'm sure you will find the season just as engaging, if not more. Our guests come from a wide array of fields, including top-notch author, renowned painter, curator, stand-up comedian, law enforcement leader, and so much more. So without further ado, let's dive into our new season. Art has always been an integral part of our lives, serving as a bridge between cultures, emotions, and ideas. It's more than just visual appeal. Art tells stories, captures moments, and invites us to see the world through a different lens. The role of a curator is crucial in shaping these experiences, offering us narratives that connect us to the artists and their work. Today, we will explore the power of art and curation and what we can learn from the incredible artists who create and the curators who bring their visions to life. Art teaches us to appreciate beauty, to empathize, and to think deeply. Well, in today's episode, we have the pleasure of hosting Roma Madan Soni, an art curator, historian, and advisor with an incredible journey from Kolkata to Mumbai, the Middle East, and back to India. Raised by pioneering parents, she became the youngest in-house interior designer for the Taj Group and worked with prestigious clients before moving into curating art for major institutions. Holding a PhD in art history from the University of Wolverhampton, Roma has taught, researched, and curated art in diverse settings, including open beaches and deserts. Today, she helps clients navigate the world of modern and contemporary art, offering tailored advice and unique insights, while also being an active member of the art community through her roles at esteemed institutions and as a Getty Fellow. Recognition awarded to individuals making significant contributions to the field of arts and culture. Roma remains dedicated to nurturing new talent and preserving artistic heritage. So let's see what Roma has to say about art, art curation, and art as an asset class from investment standpoint. Hi, welcome to Aspire and Acquire, Roma. It's truly an honor to have you with us today. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Sandeep. So looking forward to discussing with you my journey.
Sure. So let's start with your early career and your interest in art. Growing up in Calcutta with pioneering parents, what influences shaped your early interest in art and creativity?
So, right, Sandeep. Growing up in Kolkata, I was surrounded by a rich tapestry of culture, of art, and art history, which became the foundation of my creative journey. The Government College of Art, right in the center of the city, Shantiniketan flowering within the green and blue neighborhood of the city, rich area of museums and galleries.
Wow.
Kolkata, yeah, so Kolkata was known for its Baroque neoclassical deco style of architecture, right? And its vibrant festivals of Durga Puja, its long-standing artistic traditions. to the city that pulses with creativity.
The way you're explaining this, Roma, I can actually visualize Kolkata.
Right. That's what I'm like. I'm immersed in the city right now. So from a very young age, I was immersed in its artistic milieu. My parents were both scientists. Mother was a pediatrician and professor, the first MD in Bengal.
Ah,
Father, an engineer who worked in the construction of naval ships across the country. They both played a crucial role in nurturing my passion. My parents, both intellectuals with a deep affinity for literature and the arts,
mm,
often took, me and my sister to the local galleries, the museums, the cultural events across the city. Even at dinner table, discussions were steeped in what talks about musicians and writers, about modernists and contemporary artists. And the annual fair in Kolkata at that time was stacked with storybooks from Russia. And once the fair got over, it was our home that was filled with books from Russia with, colorful images from which books that weren't available in India as freely at that time.
and those books were in English, by the
So
way,
yes,
oh, okay. All
in
right.
English,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
So Anna Karenina, those storybooks, before the other English editions, the ones that we studied in school came in. It was Russian books coming in. So this environment, constant exposure to creative expression, sparked my own interest in the arts. And Kolkata's artistic heritage is so diverse and so multi-layered, ranging from Bengali art to contemporary art, that thrives in the city.
Oh,
So I
absolutely.
was especially drawn to the works of modernists and progressives whose bold new approaches to color, form, techniques challenged the norms of that time, post-colonial. So legacy of figures like Rabindranath Tagore, Jamini Rai, Nanlal, all these contemporary Bengali artists and contemporary Bengali artists, they influence my own artistic sensibilities.
Yeah, and Calcutta has got some great authors to offer,
Yes, yes.
including our own
Rabindranath,
Rabindranath Tagore, right?
absolutely.
Yeah,
And the poems that go with the art and the
yeah,
dances. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
So, and of course, the city's festivals like the Durga Puja
yeah.
is like a whole different source of inspiration, transforming the entire street, the entire city into living art installations, because it kind of brings together performance, culture, sculpture in the midst of it, bringing together tangible and intangible heritage in ways.
Mm-hmm.
So, which feels like it's timeless and spontaneous too, with the performances happening there, and very fluid performances changing by the minute. So these experiences didn't not only shaped my aesthetic appreciation, but also my understanding of art as an immersive, community-based experience. So this blend of historical depth in this and the energy that Kolkata offered me made me realize that art is a language which transcends histories, geographies, space, cultures. So this realization helped me guide my approach as both an interior designer, as an artist, and also as a curator, and now an art advisor. And this power of art, I think, helped me create emotional, intellectual connections within any given space or my writing and my creativity.
Yeah. And I can't imagine the kind of transitions, you would have done throughout your career, beautifully articulated, how you started and where you are. We'll talk about all that in a couple of minutes. You became the youngest in-house interior designer for the Taj Group of hotels. That's a pretty big deal. What was that experience like for you?
Yes, Sandeep. So after I completed my education in art and design and my master's in interior design, I began my professional journey in designing interiors. Created a Chinese restaurant for Saturday Club, did some Worked on some lounges for Park Hotel, some guest houses for tea companies, worked for Steel Authority of India, or an office for data consultancy. And it was a very exciting time. I was young and I worked 24/7. The real turning point came in when I started working on interior projects for Taj Bengal. Such a prestigious brand, and this was really early in my career that I started working for them. So, and the Taj Group is synonymous with passion-filled creativity, larger scale conceptualization, culture linking tradition with modernism, attention to the context, qualities that I really wanted to embody in my own work. So, what set me apart during my time was not just my passion, reliability of being there, and humility, but my approach to interior design too. I wanted to create spaces and artifacts that told stories which would recall our both our tangible as well as intangible heritage, which married aesthetics with functionality, that spoke about legacy, lineage, and memories, that brought a smile on the face of the elderly and curiosity, surprise on the facial expressions of the young.
Yeah.
So I was appointed as the youngest in-house interior designer for Taj Bengal. It's provided a workshop there, and it was incredibly fulfilling, challenging experiences my way.
Yeah.
I was involved in designing high-end bespoke interiors for the luxury hotel in the middle of a heritage city.
Awesome.
These needed to embody the essence of the location as well as Taj style.
Yeah.
And
I guess, after you finish your graduation, or studies rather, it was a natural progression for you to become an interior designer. But then the transition happened to art curatorship. I just want to talk about that a little bit for our listeners. I was reading about your journey and saw that after working with prestigious clients like the Taj Group, ICICI, and others in interior design, you transitioned into art curation. How did you manage to make that shift so smoothly?
so I moved to Mumbai right after my marriage, and moving to Mumbai, I realized that there was a transition in the space, space to work, space that I could use to work. My workshops in Kolkata were no longer there in Mumbai. And I realized that, art sparked my interest. And from interior design, the synergy between interior design and art sparked my interest and brought my art to the forefront. Now, creating artistic experiences was more than just dealing with a physical space. The Taj Group of hotels in Mumbai, ICICI Bank, they helped me, they supported me, and they commissioned me, they believed in me, creating art for them. Also came across many talented artists and learned to, I saw how they interacted with the environment, with the emotional and intellectual responses that art could evoke in people. So transcending the limitations of architecture and design, offering a deeper, more direct connection to culture, geography, history, and personal expression. And then there was a pivotal moment, my journey to the Middle East with my family, 2 young daughters, and my husband's professional move, which actually led me to turn towards art curatorship, broadening my perspective in the space that I was in. There's a total mind shift in creating physical spaces, curating experiences, engaging with art on a more conceptual level, bringing in narratives, bringing in artists' attentions, artists focusing on artists' journeys, and creating broader cultural conversations around art. There were dynamic relationships that were formed then.
Interesting.
Simultaneously, at this time, I pursued a master's in education from the UK, a master's in visual arts, followed by a master's in visual arts from the US, while I taught arts at an international school there.
Wow.
So
Wow. The kind of credentials you bring to the table is just unimaginable. And your journey is so fascinating and interesting. This is very, very interesting. Okay, I want to kind of talk a little bit about life in the Middle East that you spoke about and academia, right? So later on, you
yes.
moved to the Middle East, as you said, and pursued advanced degrees, including a PhD focused on Amrita Shergill. What drew you to her work for your research? Just curious.
Thank you, Sandeep. So excited to share this with you. So while I was teaching, I chaired a transformative education think tank, which could have a collective impact, coalition impact on people, with an NGO by the name of Reuse. As I did that, I thought, I need to work on myself for this. Middle East opened exciting opportunities professionally as well as academically for me. The region's growing art scene. I lived in Kuwait and Saudi Arabia. It wasn't as, people see Dubai and UAE. So here art was a growing, not a very developed kind of a trend, being part of an artistic community. But it also simulated Kolkata in the sense there was a blend of tradition as well as modernity.
Yeah.
Following my master's, I moved to teaching at the American University in Kuwait and then the Australian College. And as I pursued my PhD in art history and culture at this time, focusing on Amrita Shergill's life as she transcended borders through her lifetime.
Oh.
Amrita Shergill's art blended Western modernist influences and traditional Indian themes, which resonated with me on a very personal as well as an intellectual level. She was one of India's modernist first women artists who navigated the cultural intersections of East and West. And I saw in her deep personal exploration of identity, gender, and culture as she transcended borders, which I felt like I did. Her approach to human interaction in her paintings really drew me, and I felt compelled to explore her life and work in more depth. Choosing Amrita Shergill for my doctoral research was not only an academic decision, it was a personal one. Her experience as an artist navigating multiple cultural spheres, displacement, and dislocation mirrored also my parents through the partition of India. Through my research, I really sought to unravel the complexities of people's lives and how she created art engaging with both Indian and Western cultural movements. This informed my curatorial practice in the Middle East too, looking at deeper narratives that art conveys.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
I want to switch gears now, Roma, and talk about your curation journey. You have worked in galleries, cultural centers, and even on beaches and deserts. What challenges and opportunities did you face in such diverse settings, and why beaches and deserts? That's pretty unique.
Right. So I work with the CA Getty as an international fellow. I've presented my Trinetra series there, which spells out interconnected indigenous living. This is for scholars and practitioners that I've presented. My abstract paintings are based on coastal habitats, the desert, spaces where, which show interconnections between beings, the flora and fauna, and our one precious planet. I've created large scale, 16 feet tall installations, the last one being exhibited at the Red Fort, previous ones in different parts of the world. Rockefeller centers, Switzerland, in scientific centers. I realized that I need to work with the communities, not just with scholars and practitioners, but also with the young, with communities that live in these spaces. So I would, with young people, we would just go to the beaches early in the morning, to the mangroves, to the desert, to hospitals, to special needs institutes, all unconventional public spaces. And this was very intentional. We wanted to engage the audience there, the everyday people, in novel and thought-provoking ways. All these installations that we created were participatory and immersive. So, everyone around, eyewitnesses, could become part of the process of making and doing and undoing and recreating. So they would understand, it would create awareness, there was learning. The Panch Tattva that we talk about, and we talk about the environment, is very special in my curatorial as well as my artwork. And this was part of each of the space that we were immersed in, actually creating and recreating and understanding our interconnections with our only precious planet. These immersive experiences would invite viewers to reconsider the relationship with both and create unexpected dialogues.
Yeah. Yeah.
Instead of being just in a traditional gallery or museum.
Yeah. Okay, I want to switch gears a little bit and talk about art as an investment. What are some misconceptions people have about art as an investment, and how do you usually address them?
So I have been working as an artist advisor to many galleries, foundations, institutions, and banks. Art has increasingly become recognized not just as a form of creative expression, but as a legacy and also an asset class in its own right. I help clients navigate the misconception of art as only an asset, because I want them to view art not just as a financial asset, but as a long-term cultural investment.
Absolutely.
Something that can enrich our lives and spaces too that we are part of, the environment that we are in, whether it's interiors or exteriors, any space that we are part of. So I emphasize on the importance of understanding the context in which the art was produced, has been produced, and how it's moved into a space that we are part of. And along with its potential impact on the future market trends, that happens. But art as aesthetics, art as immersive is very important to me, and I feel to any viewer or owner of the art. Art as a form of investment should not only have financial value, but also cultural capital, and a personal enrichment is very crucial.
How do you balance the aesthetic value of art and its investment potential when advising clients, particularly?
So when we work as art as legacy or art as an asset in its own right, financial asset in its own right, we should navigate the misconception that art is only an asset, or a financial asset, but it's a long-term cultural investment. So it needs to enrich the life and my space around. And then art, the aesthetic value of art is actually being employed. Our emotions are connected with the piece of art that is occupying the space around us. And we need a more holistic approach, not just a market-based approach. So my role is not to overshadow the audience or the viewer or the eyewitness of the art, not to overshadow the aesthetic and emotional part of the work, so they understand the broader context of an art piece, not just the market value.
Sure. Yeah. So let's talk about art as a cultural dialogue now. You have worked with a range of clients, from institutions to individual collectors. How do you approach the storytelling aspect of curating art for such different audiences?
So art created by any artist has involves or includes the personal story of the artist,
Yeah.
the journey of the artist. And that very often, when that's brought to the forefront, that's discussed as an art historian. My role and my duty is to bring forth that story. And that, when it connects with the viewer or the art acquirer or the collector's story, is when the connection is formed. And I feel like the connection is like that of an umbilical cord, because that's a long-term connection. And when you connect with emotionally, and you connect stories with a tangible heritage like art, because that you're going to turn into a legacy, because you're again giving or sharing those stories with your future generations. And art as legacy is much more important. It takes a much more crucial and required space than art just, again, as a financial asset. As a legacy, as a story, as an intangible heritage that you're carrying forward, you're giving to your children or the future generations, makes that an absolutely undoable piece in the part of your space. And your entire space can actually form. It's a little different from dealing with private art collectors. It's a bit more market-based when it's institutions. Unless the institutions really, really care about how their art collectors feel, and many institutions do. And when dealing with private art collectors, it's connecting their stories with the artist's story. And you're always very careful about their needs, their emotional and aesthetic needs when you are seeking an artwork from a certain artist. And that's where art history and the artist's journey become very important in linking the two.
Yeah. Yeah. Technology is playing an important role in all our lives. So I just want to bring in one question on technology. How do you see technology like AI and virtual exhibitions impacting the future of art curation and collection? Does it have any impact or no? If yes, what kind?
It does have an impact. I myself have created films under the ocean, diving under the ocean in the Arabian Sea. 85% of the coral reef impacted. So I have used technology in creating films, and technology can be very, very helpful in creating immersive spaces, immersive impact on the entire space. But I would say that combining something tangible with something intangible really evokes all our senses. With technology, the texture, the touch, the sense of feeling gets lost to some extent. And technology should be used as a support, combining real with handcrafted material and technology with it would help really pull in our five senses together. And I do focus a lot on the five senses, and I write about it in my research because the entire world, apart from human beings, works more with their senses. The other species work with their senses. Say, for example, a baby in a mother's womb uses its senses. Cartesian rationalism was more a Western doing. So we need to balance using our senses with technology. Feel in today's world, we've started using our senses a little less. We'd be able to bring in more balance in the world if we used a sense of listening to others, a sense of feeling, touching, all our senses for the world around us, the world would be a better place to live in. And here's where I work on my Trinity series, the third eye, the universal eye. Which, yes.
Okay, great. So before we wrap up, Roma, what advice would you give to young artists looking to make their mark in the world of art curation or scholarship?
Very important question, Sandeep. I've spent most of my life in academia working with young people, and the energy and the inspiration that comes from young people, young artists especially, is what keeps us going, me going, because we share, again, we're interconnected. The advice that I would have for young artists would be stay true to your vision, believe in yourself and your creation. The path of an artist is not linear. It's filled with highs and lows, moments of inspiration from everything around. So working towards exploration, towards expression and creativity is what's going to satisfy you. Because never be afraid to experiment and take risks with your work. Because art is about exploring new ideas, about pushing boundaries. It's artists who dare to step out of the norm and make the greatest impact. It's artists who bring in the emotion and the feelings in the work or in a space. So it's really important to be patient, especially because building a career in the arts takes time. But if we are persistent in our practice, we engage with the art community around us, or now even on a global scale, and we're not discouraged by not being included in certain spaces at certain times, we keep learning, we keep absorbing, we immerse in artworks, in artist talks, learn about stories of artists, journeys, and also how they impact art acquirers. Very important is your interaction with the viewer or the art audience around you, because the stories need to be heard, need to have an impact. You will grow inwards as well as outwards through your art, is what I have to say.
Great. This is very, very inspirational. Thank you so much, Roma, for joining us today on Aspire and Acquire. Your insights into the world of art curation, your unique journey from interior design to academia, and your thoughts on the evolving landscape of art have been truly inspiring. We have learned so much about the complexities of art as both a cultural dialogue and an investment. It's clear that your passion for nurturing talent and preserving artistic heritage is making a significant impact in the art community. We look forward to seeing all the amazing work you will continue to do. Thank you once again for sharing your journey with us. Cheers.
Thank you, Sandeep, for this incredible opportunity.
You're most welcome, Roma. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
In the recommendation spotlight section today, we're excited to introduce Artsy, a premier online platform that bridges the gap between art collectors, galleries, and artists. With access to an extensive collection of fine art and collectibles from across the globe, Artsy makes discovering and acquiring art easier than ever. Renowned for its cutting-edge use of technology, Artsy employs machine learning and data-driven insights to match users with artworks tailored to their tastes and preferences. So if you're looking to explore, buy, or sell art seamlessly, be sure to check out ARTSY at www.artsy.net. Happy browsing!